Hello everyone, and welcome back to Dungeons & Dragons The Second Age. How are we all doing?
Good.
Great.
Pretty good.
Apparently, I killed some people, so woohoo.
You did, yes.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Luka doesn't remember shit, but it happened.
She blacked out, and when she woke up all there was bodies.
Lots of
Nice.
dead Dragonborn.
Not a great thing to have happen, but
No, not
Lots of
really.
Satiated wolves.
So,
as long as you didn't black out and make money.
without further ado, who wants to actually go ahead and tell us what happened the last time we played?
Well, we started last session in the keep with the plan that we're going to quickly teleport over to this this village that that Tallithsyr and Sedani had discovered on their mission south to the south.
The village of Nyxes.
Yep, because we want to protect it from the Chromats, who were almost certainly going to attack. And when we got over there, it turns out they already had. A lot of the village was burnt quite badly, but the buildings were still mostly standing because it looked like it must have been raining, or the fires were doused quickly. But yeah, we eventually, after a quick search of the village, found the last few survivors, and figured it would be best to. Well, we then started formulating a plan, basically communicating with the villagers, trying to formulate a plan. The Chromats were watching the village at all times. They had a huge number of crossbowmen up on the ridge overlooking it, watching in case anyone tried to move towards them. They had a patrol on the other side of the village, watching the road. And we very much had to do something. We didn't want to just wait for them to attack and put the villagers in danger. So we did our best to help out the villagers as best we could, so that they were ready to defend themselves if necessary. We even gave them a device we had forgotten about, the flare gun that Grim had picked up.
I never
so
forgot
long ago.
about it.
Okay, Grim never forgot about it. The rest of us forgot about it. So that they could signal us in case of danger. A quick strike by Elizabeth, Kelariis, and Arya neutralized the scouting party on the western edge of the village, and so all that was left was the camp they had set up on the eastern side. And for that, we had a plan as well. Arya snuck past the lines of crossbowmen invisible, with Lyra in tow, while the rest of us prepared at the bottom of the slope. And Arya conjured an army of direwolves right in the middle of their camp,
as one does.
as one does.
Mm.
Howl the wolves is obviously a pretty damn good signal to attack, so off went Elizabeth and Tallithsyr, invisible as well, up the hill, while Grim and Kelariis mounted an aerial assault on the crossbowmen, and both battles went pretty damn well. Arya single-handedly killed, well, along with the wolves, killed every single dragonborn in the camp, and we quickly cleared the slope of the crossbowmen as well, and it was very, very successful. Unfortunately, Luka had to go early, so we didn't get any further than that. But yeah, the battle has just ended.
Yes.
The crossbowmen are dead. In fact, the whole advance team is dead. All that's left is some wounded in the camp.
So yes, as the heat of battle draws to a close, the three of you who were observing Tallithsyr in this frenzied duel with the last remaining dragonborn with a battle axe, you watch this. Tallithsyr cuts down the final dragonborn, and whispers something under her breath in Draconic before sheathing the sword. The four of you then turn your attention back towards the camp, where you can still hear the sort of the sounds of conflict from the wolves. You sprint up the hill, come to the top of this depression that leads into the center of the camp. And see the wolves seem to have finished off the majority of the occupants of the camp. As you watch Arya pushes the corpse of the dragonborn in front of her off the edge of her sword with her foot and deftly flicks it through the air, and turns to see your arrival. To which point I will add you to the battle map. What are you doing?
Did you guys finish up down there?
Yeah, we did. Wow, you really did a number on these guys.
Well, it was mostly the dire wolves, but yeah.
I mean, I'm counting the direwolves as you, because, magic you cast is still you.
Did well. Admittedly, I was expecting a bit more resistance, but I'm not going to complain.
I know, it was surprisingly easy. But we did catch them off guard, I guess.
That we did.
The element of surprise and a magical advantage can really do wonders.
Well, there is one next thing that we haven't really taken into consideration yet. We don't really know what, are they going to send out a second group? What is going to happen now? Are they going to realize just maybe we bit off more than we can chew? I'm not sure what the response is going to be from their home base.
Well, I imagine it would take them a while to even realize what happened.
I think
But it
so.
depends how often they cycle this forward group. Do we want to head back to the village and discuss it, or?
Yeah, we should head. We should. Well,
Yeah,
actually,
we can let the villagers
before
know it's okay for now.
we should let them know. But before we go, we should probably have a look if there's any information.
True.
For Sarah and Kelariis, you can wait. Actually, can you read Draconic, Elizabeth?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you free to look around, perhaps find some text.
That's a point. What about the Have you found the wounded Arya?
Did I?
Well, you haven't had time to look around yet.
Oh, well, yeah. No, I haven't looked. But we can look now.
Because, yeah, one of these tents should... At least last I looked.
I mean, the better question is, what are we going to do when we find them?
Well, we should definitely. Well, they might be able to provide us with information. They might. Well, they most definitely will. And considering they're wounded, they probably are going to be slow.
I don't know how I feel about killing them in cold blood.
Yeah.
No. We should. We should get information from them. Is what I'm saying. Killing them in cold blood doesn't seem necessary.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about killing wounded soldiers.
Nobody said anything about killing wounded soldiers.
No, okay, good. No, I know, I'm just saying.
Although considering who they are, they might prefer to fight to the death than tell us anything. In which
Well, that's a different
case,
story altogether. In that case,
yes, but considering how concerned you all seem to be all of a sudden, but yes,
Well, I mean, which tent are they in? Because Elizabeth's probably just like where she's probably just stands in the center of the camp and is looking inside all the tents.
Well, be careful looking in the tents. They might, if they were in one of the tents, they might be setting up an ambush.
Well, yeah, this is the thing. She's not like getting close to them. Like she's like, yeah, I'm literally gonna be stood like roughly where I am now and just walking past the entrances to each tent.
Well,
Inside.
Okay. Well, so those of you who are looking through the camp, give me investigation checks.
Oh, that's probably the best investigation check I've ever rolled in my life.
yeah,
It's pretty good.
good.
I'd like to roll, but my sheet is taking fucking forever to load.
It's alright.
Hold on,
Oh.
sorry.
Yeah.
Well, never mind. I didn't need to, but you know.
It's fine. Also, to be fair, Arya, that's better than the last time we both rolled investigation on something.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think this is the best I've ever rolled. Usually my investigation is awful.
Yeah, also, last time we rolled, you got a nat 1.
Yeah, exactly.
So yes, Arya and Elizabeth, you sort of you scope through the tents, and it's immediately obvious that like the largest tent behind the rock here is the tent containing a number of wounded. There are 3 Dragonborn wounded in total. One of whom seems to have taken a piercing wound to the gut, presumably from a makeshift spear, and is sort of just lying in a state of unconsciousness. One of them looks to have a fairly serious head injury, and his head is like just covered in bandages, also seemingly unconscious. The third Dragonborn, who is a red Dragonborn, is seems to have sustained like a number of minor wounds, and as you enter the tent, he is definitely playing dead.
But he's like obviously breathing.
Yeah, like in that you open the flap and he is like in the process of lying down when you open the flap.
Very convincing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say probably in Draconic, just like, you know, we're probably going to have questions for you. If you cooperate, we'll happily let you go.
Good thing Arya can't hear what you just fucking promised, because we will not be promising that.
Okay. Give me a persuasion roll. Also, Kelariis, I don't know if you saw what I whispered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I saw.
Bam.
Okay.
Actually, Arya's gonna ask, what did you just say to them?
I'm just trying to get information. Telling them to cooperate.
Okay. So, like, there's a pause, and he quite painfully, obviously, like, sort of, like, leans up into a sitting position and, like, props him up on an arm, but he looks to be in, like, a degree of discomfort. Looks at you, looks at Arya, and then looks like back to you, Elizabeth, and then says in probably back in Draconic, and just sort of says, "Who are you? What do you want?"
We're acting on behalf of the villagers here, and well, we want you to stop bothering them. Is the simplest way to put it.
He digests that for a moment and just sort of like. There's clearly a moment where he's thinking it over and just sort of says, I guess he'd sort of I guess he gestures to Arya and like switches to like a rough common. He clearly is not practiced in speaking common. But gestures to Arya and says, you and your war dogs cut through us like nothing. And you're defending farmers.
That's right, bitch. We're vigilantes now. And they're still human. Well, I guess whatever the equivalent of.
They're still people.
They're still people? Question mark? Question
Yes.
mark?
Humanoid.
I don't understand
Yeah,
why.
Sorry, carry on.
Yeah. They deserve a right to live as much as anyone else.
He doesn't seem to have any desire to contest that.
I bet not after he witnessed what I just did.
But I guess I'd say to him like, so how long would it be until word gets back to your fortress? When's the next, well, point of contact meant to be?
He sort of like shakes his head as if he doesn't know the answer to your question, and just sort of says, "When our first attack didn't go the way we planned, we sent word that we'd be dealing with things a little more aggressively. We told them we'd be done in." We told them about the ultimatum that we gave, and we said we'd be back when it was done. Once they realise we've been missing for longer than expected, I expect they'll find somebody to come and look for us, but...
How many more combat personnel are there? Back at the fortress.
He goes to like begin answering the question and then stops. And yeah, like his brow furrows and he just looks at you and says, I'm not telling you anything else until you let me go.
Does he say that in common?
Yes.
I just look at Elizabeth.
I mean, yeah, again, then I guess Elizabeth looks back at Arya, looks over to wherever Grim and Kelariis and all of that are, and just goes...
Oh, I assumed we haven't, like, gotten in yet, but...
Yeah, I'm
Or
assuming that we're not part of this conversation.
Well, yeah, but like...
Yeah, like the two of you are just sort of like
yeah,
going
like,
through the camp, looking at what you can find. You're outside.
Yeah, but if she's like stood there, she's still like looking back and like in your area, looking for you almost. And then
Yeah, it is obvious that Elizabeth is looking for your attentions.
Or well, yeah. Well, it's not even necessarily that she's looking for their attention. She's just looking over to check where they are, and then looks back to the Dragonborn and just says like, I don't think you're in a position to be making demands like that.
Give me an intimidation roll.
Oh, good.
Well,
Wow.
Yeah. Elizabeth's about as intimidating as a pseudo-dragon.
Yeah. Yeah, he just looks at you and says, what are you going to do if I don't talk? Kill me?
Well, that would defeat the point of asking questions, wouldn't it?
So it seems to me that I do have some ground.
Look, you can either talk now or you can talk later. It's up to you. But either way, you will talk.
I guess I think it's at this point then that, like... Yeah. I guess it's at that point that Elizabeth would turn over to look at Kelariis and Grim as if, like, you guys might want to come over here.
Well, I guess.
Okay, you gesture to
Yeah.
your companions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, I'll tell you why we let Elizabeth do the questioning, because she's the only person here. She's the only person in the immediate vicinity. who
Yeah,
speaks Draconic.
unfortunately, it was like draconic, so I couldn't say shit.
But
I mean, no, but like once the Dragonborn saw Arya, he started talking in common, right?
Yeah.
It's true.
Well, rough.
yeah, but he wasn't very good at it.
Yeah,
so
his
who
common
knows
his common is very sort of splintered.
So yeah, so who knows how much of our common he'd actually understand?
Yeah, that is the assumption that you can draw, is that like his common is not very good, so you can speak in common, and he will probably only be able to gather snatches.
I say,
What?
can I like sort of pull Elizabeth to the side, I guess, so he can't hear us?
Okay.
And say, look, it doesn't look like he's gonna talk, but I think given enough time, he probably will. So maybe it's best that we gather these people up and do something with them for the time being. I don't know what the fuck we do with them though. Oh, God.
We don't have too much time. They wanted an answer to the command in 5 days. It's been
I mean, I know
3.
Minnie was joking with his message just now, but honestly, not the worst plan.
Yeah.
Well, you say I was joking. Like,
Minnie was not joking, I don't think.
it's.
Mm.
But yeah, like I feel like it's gonna end up in like batting questioning. It always does.
Also, hang on, I've just had a thought. How does Arya have proficiency in intimidation?
No, I don't think so.
Because in that case, I think Elizabeth actually has better intimidation than Arya.
Does Arya not have proficiency in intimidation? I feel like she might do.
No.
Grim might. I think
I
Grim might be the only one.
Oh yes,
I-
Grim does. Yeah.
Like I practice all the time by accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's an interesting thought for you. Elizabeth actually got better intimidation than Arya.
I know.
Uh,
I feel like I
But
have
yeah.
advantage because I just like slaughtered all this guy's
yeah.
weapons.
Well, I guess. Well, I guess it's been some time now. We'll probably have arrived. So
Yeah.
God, it's not like we have to like hike it across a giant
No, but,
expanse of space.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
but
you're
like I
walking
was.
Well,
30 feet at
The
most.
conversation between Elizabeth and Arya took like 10 seconds, and in that time you
Yeah.
crossed the small camp and got to the tent.
Yeah, I think at this point,
so-
Elizabeth. Yeah, I think at this point as well, Elizabeth's just like finishing off what you were saying, which was just like, we don't have too long, and we've got like, it's been 3 days since they issued that ultimatum, so it'll be
You're
what?
verging on your
6?
fourth now.
Yeah, so it'll be 2 days before the fort realizes something's up, depending on how long it takes to get back there.
Are you having this conversation in common, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
um,
yes, but hush, but like
yeah.
hush.
Thallithsyr says the fortress is maybe a day's march from here. It's not going to take them long.
So it'll probably take them about 2 days to realize something's up, and 3 days to send some kind of response. So time isn't exactly a luxury that we have at the moment. We need them to talk today or tomorrow, ideally.
I mean, I didn't think we were going to give it much more time than that.
Yeah.
No, well, our interrogations rarely last longer than a few hours anyway.
True. But right now, he's not talking unless we can, well, be a bit scarier than me, or guarantee his safety. And
What
presumably
did
the
you
safety of
tell
his
him?
friends. I haven't told him anything yet. I've just asked him questions.
What did you ask him then?
What did I ask him?
God damn it!
You asked him how long before reinforcements arrive and
Oh, yeah.
how many are left at the fortress, to which he did not answer.
So yeah, in that case, yeah, Elizabeth relays that and just says, so... Yeah.
Okay. Well, so he's told. Well, let's see. What has he told you so far? Basically,
He told us that the
Basically
fort knows about the
nothing.
ultimatum and will be sending a response when they don't hear from this forward team, which they're not going to.
and
So that gives us 3 days, and that's all he's really given us.
yeah.
He's refusing to talk on anything else unless we guarantee
Okay.
his safety.
Well,
I didn't want him to start making promises without all of us being here. Especially given Arya's...
Didn't you already?
response
Sorry, this is
to him.
out of character. Didn't you
She
already
has
do
to.
that though?
Yep.
Yeah, but it's Elizabeth.
Okay.
It's Elizabeth. It's an Elizabeth promise. No.
Wow.
Oh no.
Yeah, and she says, especially given Arya's response to his demand to be let free.
Well, I guess there is some wiggle room. Let's see if we can just have a word with wisdom or intimidating people, I guess. Or maybe we'll give him maybe we'll use some candy or whatever they had
Candy.
before.
And
But you've got like a treat. Oh, what's it called? You got the stick and the treat.
Carrot.
Oh, treat or carrot. Yeah,
What?
carrot. The treat. Look, it's fine.
what are
No.
you
This is a
talking
real
about?
thing. Minnie is
Yeah.
saying a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
the
he's
carrot.
trying
and
to talk
stick.
about the carrot on a stick, like leading
Yeah,
thing.
carrot
but
or
he's
stick, yeah.
Oh,
forgetting
I
the
was like,
carrot
what
part.
are you talking about?
Yeah, he's trying to do the carrot on a stick thing, but he's forgetting the carrot part and just
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
like sweets.
I choose to believe that Grim knows this metaphor in Gnomish and nobody understands it, and then he's like, how to in common?
The stick, and then all he says is stick and candy. And we're like,
Actually,
what are you
Elizabeth,
talking?
Elizabeth would understand. She speaks Gnomish.
Well, actually, to be fair though, just because you understand the words doesn't necessarily mean you understand the meaning of the phrase.
True.
Yeah.
That is true.
It's a colloquialism, so.
That is true. She is
Yeah.
not from that part of the world.
Anyway,
Yes.
that was great.
Yes. I was just confused with trick or treat,
So
probably.
yeah, given that
Um,
Elizabeth has been pulled to wow. Like, given
Okay,
Elizabeth's been
but
pulled
let's-
to one side, she probably just doesn't move forward again. That's you moving
Okay.
forward.
Well, I guess I'll step forward. So, do you speak Common, eh?
A little.
That will do. Well, considering you probably don't want to give away any secrets, I feel like some things we should establish before letting you go. Why are you holed up in this mountain pass?
He sort of he gives you a level look and says, "We have nowhere else to go."
See, that was going to be my easy plan, was just be like, well, maybe we can find you some other place, but what was the what else what else could we ask? Oh, I guess this is not directly relevant, but you seem to be scared of a big white flying thing that whenever it approaches you. We never got a good look at it. Would you mind sharing what it is, or would you rather not tell?
He seems not to understand the question.
Hmm.
Can I? God, sorry. I made the assumption that I followed Grim, and I don't realize I said that. I don't know if I said that out loud, unless Grim
You
would've
did
stopped
not.
me.
Well,
Um,
I guess like we're not that far away, so you
Yeah,
can
I mean-
always
Okay.
step in.
Literally outside.
So,
even if,
yeah.
I don't think
even if
tents are a
you
great noise
didn't,
blocker.
even if I didn't follow, I can literally translate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
welcome.
like 5 feet away. So you step into the silhouette of the tent, like lean into the tent, and the wounded chromat like visibly flinches.
Oh shit.
Oh.
I think we found another person who knows you by
Oh
reputation.
no. Oh no.
I think we found another person who knows you by reputation, Kelariis.
Kelariis
mean-
doesn't like this though.
I am personally loving this, actually.
Yeah. I'm loving the fact that Chromats are scared shitless by Kelariis.
Well,
Does Arya notice that reaction?
Give me an actually no, you don't need to give me an insight check. It as long as your insight is higher than 10, it's noticeable.
Okay.
which means I don't notice.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I absolutely noticed.
Yeah, I think
Grim?
everyone except Grim notices.
Fucking great. Great.
None.
Oh
Say,
Jesus.
Kelariis, perhaps you could run it by him again in his native tongue.
Yeah, I mean, I'll translate it. But I'm gonna keep an eye on him because Kelariis is assuming that this is the same reaction that we got the last time somebody recognized.
Uh,
Away from you.
yeah, it's partly a reaction to seeing a metallic dragonborn, but it's like he sees your stature and your armor, and there's something more than just seeing a natural enemy to it.
Yeah.
Maybe he has heard stories.
Cool, great, awesome. You know what? I think I'm gonna leverage that to my advantage and just I'm going to attempt to be more intimidating than usual, just in the way that I stand.
Okay.
Menace him a
But I
little.
will ask him the question. Like I will basically translate for Grim, assuming that I heard what he asked.
Oh, yeah.
It's not exactly a great noise canceller.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you translate into Draconic, and he seems to he does understand this time, and he sort of he nods and says, "You mean the dragon?"
It is a dragon then. Are you sure?
As far as I can tell, I've never seen it myself, but others say that it has the shape and movements of a dragon. They have taken to calling it the Twilight Hunter.
Is Kelariis translating this for all of us?
Oh yeah, I am. Sorry.
No, it's cool. I
Yeah.
just wanted to know how much of this
Kelariis leans over her shoulder and translates it back into common for the rest of you.
Yeah.
Well,
So it only comes out at twilight, I assume?
Well, I think even the Syrah and Sidani said that
Yeah.
they typically saw it at night or like in the evening.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
limited times that
Yeah.
they saw it when it was basically dark.
Yeah, because the Chromats avoided it by turning off their torches and other light sources.
so has this dragon been causing problems in the area?
You translate again, and he sort of gives just like sort of a like an open palm gesture, and sort of says, I don't know. I came here only recently, but from what I know, those that were here before attempted to communicate with it, and it ended poorly. We have been forbidden from I guess, yeah, we've been forbidden from approaching the mountain where it rests, and any sighting of it, we are to extinguish our torches and conceal our location.
Well, perhaps there is something that you might not be aware of, but like this dragon is the main reason why we showed up here, or like out of our curiosity. Also, the fact that you're kind of the fact you were mistreating villagers was more of a side objective.
Good thing
But
that
not
there is
something
here.
that we're willing to ignore.
Yeah.
No, don't. Yes.
Sorry, I do direct that at
Yeah.
at the Dragonborn, not at you, Grim. Just to
Yeah, no, but like Grim's like, oh yeah, well, he gets it. He's
Grim's
like,
just remembered that we're also here for moral reasons.
what more?
No, Grim remembers.
No.
He just doesn't say it.
Yeah.
Look, some things don't have to be said at some certain times, but it's fine. Yeah, so I'm guessing, like, you would also, like, you and your group would appreciate the dragon being gone.
Is Grim volunteering us to kill a dragon again?
Seems like it.
If it's
Alright.
a baby dragon, I'm not killing it. By the
I
way.
mean,
Well, like, gone is not necessarily death.
that's fair. Yeah, sorry, this wasn't in character. I was just
Yeah.
like, what is
Yeah.
Vinny?
Yeah,
Don't worry,
we
I-
all need to occasionally go out of character to ask just exactly what Grim is referring to.
Honestly,
Don't
you
worry.
can just ask in character. Don't worry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I know that's the problem. That's what I'm worried about.
It's fine.
He just sort of like looks perplexed, like he doesn't understand what you're proposing. Like even when you translate to Draconic, he's like, I don't.
Fair, honestly.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, perhaps if we deal with the dragon, could you figure out a way to live without harassing these people and other people? I should include.
He looks sort of incredulous and is like, so what? First you slaughter us, and now you want to help us.
Well, when you put it like that.
Well, see, there was a timer on this, and when there's a deadline, things have to be done. But like one way of because you dying is one way of stopping you, but convincing you to just do something else is also sufficient. But I assume you yourself might not be able to speak for everyone of your what was it even called? Of your organization.
At this point, he just looks at you, Kelariis. Like he clearly doesn't know how to explain what it is that he wants in common, and just in Draconic, he just begins to spout in like like the tone of voice he uses. It's almost like he's like he's outraged at what you're suggesting, but also simultaneously just like bemused and afraid. Like he like what's being proposed to him is clearly just so incomprehensible.
Yeah, fair.
And
Honestly, it's honestly funny.
he just says, what madness is this? First, we are chased to the edge of extinction by the Imperial army. They haul us up in the mountain where we must survive off the rocks. We take what supplies we can, and now all of a sudden, and he just like sort of gestures wildly at the group. a handful of sellswords show up, murder my comrades, and then suggest that there might be a peaceful resolution to all of this?
Yep, that's pretty much the whole of it.
Yeah, that's basically what just happened, to be fair to this guy. Oh, this poor guy.
I mean,
He's
yeah,
got a
Elizabeth,
fucking time.
Elizabeth probably genuinely just goes, you know what? Yeah, when you put it like that, it does sound pretty crazy.
I give Elizabeth a look.
Well, I feel like Kelariis, you might be better at like
Yeah, it's
you
okay.
might have more insight into this mentality.
Yeah, sorry. I was thinking of what to say. Like Kelariis would know. I was just trying to think about a word this bit that I'm trying to think of what to say. I think Kelariis like lets him finish his whole bit.
Yeah,
his whole
he
outrage
just sort of
bit.
tails off in like visible frustration.
Yeah, I let it sit for a second, and just ask him, do you know who I am? And do you know who my friends are?
Do you fucking know who I am?
Do you know who I am, bitch?
I'm a force of nature.
If you were from where I was from, you'd be fucking dead.
No.
Yeah, so he I guess at that point, like, he just sort of like looks down at his legs, and I guess, yeah, he just says well, yeah, I guess he just says, you must be the Grey Slayer, and these must be your liberators.
Liberators. We got
Liberators.
I assume this is Intercolic.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, Arya.
It's fine.
Then you know that we will do what needs to be done. And that we will not stand for people like you picking on those who cannot fend for themselves.
He looks back up at you, and he's like almost like his vision, like his eyes are almost like pleading with you, and he just says, we wouldn't do we would not be in the situation if we were not absolutely desperate. We did not want to dabble with the or tamper with the village. We feared the wrath of the Imperial army, but we did what we had to do because our people were starving.
Oh no, he's being sympathetic.
Yeah.
Do you not think that they are in the same position?
He just sort of like shakes his head and says, they are farmers, but they are not refugees of a war they did not start.
They also did not start the war, nor did they choose to take part in it in this way. We do not come here to kill people without need, but we will not let you or anybody else hurt those who are not a part of a war that they did not choose to start.
Besides, this particular village, located where it is, with you located where you are, pretty cut off from the rest of their allies.
I think he like yeah, he like pauses at that revelation, like sort of thinks for a moment, and then just says, He pauses, like looks down, shakes his head, looks back up at you, and then just says, none of us wanted to be here. And he like gestures to the two either side of him, is like, not him, nor I. We followed our leaders here because they promised us that this was a place that we might be safe, that our families might be safe.
Then there are those on the fortress who do not fight.
He nods.
I cannot speak for what the Imperial Army has done, nor do I side with them directly. But that does not give you any leeway to attack those who do not have a means of defending themselves. We don't want to kill anybody in cold blood.
Then what will you do?
Good question.
What I would like to do is guarantee the safety of those left in the village. They have nothing left for you to take, or to ask for. And as my comrade so willingly promised, we will see what we can do about the dragon, but you need to leave them alone.
I think, like, yeah, at this point, like, he thumbs at, like, the bandages on his arm and just sort of says, I am in no state to challenge you. I have no desire to come back here.
And yet I have the feeling that you are not the one who can make this decision for everybody else at the fort.
He just sort of, like, shakes his head and says, no. Warlord Vivir is the one who will make that decision, and I do not know if he will listen to you. He is a reasonable man, but he has heard your legend.
Seems like a lot of people have.
Kelariis is famous.
Kelariis does not want to be famous.
He just nods and says, there are some at our fortress who say they were there when you stormed their vessel.
Oh. Huh. And what did they have to say of that?
He just sort of, like, he gestures and says, grand stories. You face down the ship's second in command after slaying the captain.
Then they also would have told you that we did not attack anybody on the ship.
He just doesn't respond to that.
As I said, we do not come here to kill in cold blood. If you and your people are willing to no longer attack those who cannot defend themselves in this area, then we will not fight them.
Is Arya, or is this
This conversation is still going on in Draconic.
okay?
Yeah, I mean, if he's quiet for a while, I'll like really quickly summarize it into common for everybody. But
Yeah, like he
seems to be taking a second to think about this.
yeah, he just he doesn't speak for a few moments.
Yeah, I'll really quickly summarize it into common then for everybody else who doesn't understand Draconic.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Well,
Because I'm wondering if there's a like, do we need to like talk to whoever's in charge directly somehow?
That's
Is
what
that
I'm
even-
thinking. Like if that's
Well-
the route that we want to go, but I don't think he's going to necessarily want
See-
to talk to us without some convincing.
well, the problem is, it's not so much. Well, like I kind of get that they kind of get their problem. Okay, well, like that's where can what can they do? They can't, because if they stay there, they get attacked, and it would only be fair if we force this on them that we should technically face down the Dragonborn legions as well.
Oh my god!
Okay, hold on. First of all, we
Whoa,
didn't
whoa,
force
whoa.
anything on them. Also, I don't necessally agree with the
No, but
Imperial
like
Legion has done.
no, but like okay, but let's say like we well, like it's more a case of like if they try to peacefully live somewhere, they'll get hunted down anyway.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I don't know if we have.
No,
the
I'm not.
might.
I'm not saying that is something we can do. I'm just like I'm trying to like give their highlight their problems from a different angle. Because like I'm not because if I was in their position, I'm not quite sure what to do, to be honest.
I mean, starting by not taking what little others have is probably a good place to.
Yeah.
And
To
then
begin.
they would have already been dead by now.
Not necessarily.
Well, how would they have lived?
There are
If
other
the
ways of
village learned
obtaining
how to
things beyond just forcefully taking it from others.
If the village up here learned how to sustain themselves, the fortress could probably do the same. Just because it's not what they're used to.
Yeah,
it
but
means
while
that that's the
surviving
first thing they turn
sieges?
to.
The village does not have to deal with sieges.
Are
So
they being actively sieged?
Well, like
Not
maybe not a
anymore.
siege, but like they are being legions are being sent to deal with them, and it's probably only going to get worse.
yeah, the legions did retreat for the moment and leave the village undefended, but there's no guarantee they won't come back. Kelariis and
I think-
Arya, you are both. Visastras's words are both sort of like lingering in the back of your mind about how tip the civil war one way or another and it will become genocide, and that the interventions that she was making was trying to draw out the war long enough that people grow tired of it, and you can sort of see like there are definitely sort of like this is the effects of what like she's been attempting to create. It is causing stress fractures in everything that's happening, but it's clearly not worth the cost, or at least in your opinions.
Yeah. I mean, at least some of them are already tired of this going on, which is
Until both sides grow tired, then it doesn't really matter.
yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't exactly want to go in there and just kill everybody. Especially
No.
knowing that some of them in there are not soldiers of any sort.
See, what I'm trying to think is there some way we could find an area where they could, like, set up like this village did, without the intervention of a certain army. Because if we can figure that bit out, then we've basically then they're
They
good.
wouldn't have any reason to attack them anymore.
Because if they can provide for themselves, then it will be fine. However, currently, when you're traveling, like they have, well, like, I don't know how long they've been there.
They
Well,
had
maybe
enough. They had enough time to set up a fortress. Like,
when I think they took over a
Yeah,
fortress.
they did not construct the fortress. The fortress was the fortress already existed and was like occupied by the chromatics.
So
Because the fortress itself is it's a human settlement border like outpost that was just unoccupied because they've had no need for it since they stopped declaring war on the human kingdoms and started fighting a civil war instead.
wait, so this is on human grounds, or is this now?
No, this is on the
right on the
dragonborn side of the mountains.
Oh, okay, it was just okay.
Because if I show you the map,
The Dragonborn side.
God,
of the
isn't
border.
this far? Why are the Imperial Army even coming out this far? Like, nobody gives a shit about this part. Like, what are they doing?
They just want to. They just want to kill the
Well,
Chromats.
They're just bullying people.
so you are currently here in this group of mountains, and if you cross the other side of the mountains, you're in the territory of kingdoms that is like your stomping grounds, like Rorksgate, etc.
Yeah.
Not owned by any specific lord or king, but it is individually governed.
So actually, what if we convince them to move to the other side of the mountain?
I don't like, even though
Ugh.
see, that's kind of a thing I considered, but
That's not really.
I feel like
feasible, I don't think.
I feel like they're gonna have another war on their hands, because I don't think the humans will be.
I mean, if they
I
would just
mean-
keep to themselves, like
Yeah,
really wouldn't
because
be an
like
issue.
I mean, the thing is like we set up our own fucking. We're setting up a whole ass keep like right next to Ivywood Market. I don't think they'll have a big issue with some Dragonborn setting up at the bottom of their mountain. And like, just if they really do keep to them, God, it's so hard though because we can't ever guarantee that they'll keep to themselves.
Well, and like, I'm not sure if I trust the Platinum Throne to not send men just over the border, because like, oh yeah, we'll deal with them for you kind of situation, and the
They
humans
don't.
are like, I'm not going to touch this. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
especially because there is no like established governance of that territory. It is just local lords covering their lands and their lands only.
yeah, and if the Dragonborn come marching in saying we want to kill these guys, then
Nobody is
they're
going to
probably
stop
going
them.
to say, "Go ahead. Would you like something to drink with it?" Basically.
Unless there's somebody who is willing to take them under their protection.
So we would have to. That it would have to be like we said. Like, well, like I almost suggested in the beginning, we would have to actually fend for them in some way, shape, or form,
God,
actively.
we just fucking vouch for them.
I mean, yeah, could we just vouch for them? Like, I mean,
Oh.
Clark's
God.
reputation.
This
Probably-
is an awful idea.
So Thallithsyr is like she seems like almost like a little uncomfortable and maybe even a little incredulous that this is being suggested.
I know, I knew
Yeah,
this.
honestly, that's fair.
And yeah, I think at that point she just sort of pipes up and says, "Maybe it's not my place, but are we really suggesting that we give these people we give them a place to stay after everything they've done?"
Well, they have done much, but so have many things been done to them, which it's kind of like, well, we can keep on. It's just like, who is willing to accept the final blow? That's when it ends. And if we're willing to say that this was the final blow, then it will hopefully end.
I mean, here's the thing. We either make a stand and we say no more of this fighting, or like more people are gonna get hurt. Like, it might not be this village, but what if the next village they come to, like, you
Well,
know?
Yeah, that's why we can't just tell them to bugger off.
Yeah.
That's why we either we either have to like get the platinum throne to somehow be like, we're chill now.
Yeah,
Don't
we ain't
think that-
doing that. Let's be real.
No.
Exactly. Or we have to find a place they can live, where they can like actually live, instead of just being refugees that are, hiding in a fortress. Because let's be honest, it's basically what they're doing.
Wars
Like,
only
I
persist
totally
because one side is, or both sides are, unwilling to reach across and offer a hand.
Because I totally get
Well-
what you're saying, Tallithsyr. Like, this... Like, I 100% know why you would be uncomfortable with this situation, but... I mean, this is just going to be endless war if something doesn't change.
The other thing is, us going in there, especially knowing that there are people who do not want to engage in combat, or who are not able to, if we go in there and just kill them, that makes us no better.
Yeah.
See, what I'm thinking is, say we manage to do this, find a safe place for them. Now we can also have a place where other chromats can head to. Because because the problem is they're fleeing all the time. If they now finally have a safe haven, then we don't end up with all these raiding parties that have to basically top up supplies from whatever village they can, because they're running all the time.
I mean, to be fair, not all of them are running, just some of them.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I guess, like, the question is, of course, can we trust them to stick with us, or stick with that promise if we do give it to them?
That will be the biggest problem.
Then what do you think, Thalithsyr?
She
You have as much of a say as the rest of us do, especially after all you've done here.
she's been like deep in thought for like the last couple of moments, and then she just sort of like looks up as you say her name, and she just sort of says, "I don't." You're right. We can't just kill them. That would be wrong. But I don't see the justice in it.
What do you mean?
Just letting them go.
Well, we did murder like 3 times the amount of people that they killed. Not that they can ever be replaced, but so it's like they didn't get off entirely scot-free.
We did murder a lot of people.
And
We did do that, unfortunately.
And yes, we're thinking of we're talking of where can they go next, but leaving your home is always difficult. If you've been there for as long as you remember, and your parents as long as they can remember, it's difficult to leave that place. That's sometimes punishment enough. Especially for those who...
I don't know about that, but...
Well, especially for those who are not combatants and haven't committed the atrocities that their kind has unfortunately become renowned for.
I mean, one
Elizabeth,
thing I am
think
conscious
you
of
forget
is
who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing I am conscious of is, like, the Syrah's feelings are definitely going to be shared by the villagers and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Thalithsyr definitely takes a significant dislike to the way Elizabeth phrased that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, Thalithsyr, we don't have a lot of options, and there's a point where justice crosses the line into just becoming revenge. And that's no good. Sometimes it's very hard to balance that, but it's something that we need to at least try to do. We can't just keep creating an endless cycle of people wanting to get revenge on somebody else.
Otherwise, there'll be no one left.
I think at this point, Tallithsyr like pauses, like looks down, like has like the hilt of her sword in her hand, and just sort of like slowly just like draws the sword and just sort of looks at it.
I guess I just kind of keep an eye or watch seems like too harsh, but I just like wait to see if she seems to be thinking through something and is going to say something, I guess.
Yeah, well, she's definitely like contemplating something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, say, I don't know much about things, but Vladimir Isle. Do you think people could let? Because it's been a while since the volcano went off.
Has it?
Has it?
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
been a
it's
couple
been
of
a good few
months, yeah.
Yeah, I guess we
Volcanoes-
did also cause that, and it had been okay before that. But also, there was a lot of shit going on there.
Yeah, but like I'm not
Most of which is possibly buried under lava. We don't know how safe it is unless we return.
like I'm not gonna say it's safe, but like I'm just throwing it out there. What if we could arrange that island? Because nobody claims it. Nobody really cared about it.
And
Everybody
volcanic
just
islands,
feared it.
and volcanic islands, while volatile and dangerous, do kind of tend to be quite fertile. A
Yeah,
good place
when
to
there's
start a new
when
life.
there's
Once they
dirt there to
stop
plant in.
erupting.
Yeah.
There's not going to be enough dirt there for. I guess Kelariis wouldn't know this, but like, there's gonna be a fucking long time until
Yeah.
there's enough dirt there to do any kind of farming. Let's be real.
Jayla's like,
But
hello, I lived
Yeah.
on volcanic islands for most of my life.
Well, you know, there's often like lava streams. Well, it depends on how the island was shaped.
there's lava streams.
Well, you know, I mean,
There's
like,
active lava streams.
well, what I meant is like, you know, like not the entire island always gets covered, depending on how it has evolved over time. The volcano.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the eruption that we triggered was kind of explosive, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, well,
It was pretty
Yeah.
bad.
Very bad.
the eruption you triggered was like a few hundred years of volcanic activity that had been kept like restrained magically that all exploded at once.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
pretty big.
Yeah. I mean,
Honestly, I feel like an
though-
eruption like that should have had like global catastrophe levels of consequences, but it turns out we're fine.
Oh, we're good.
Well, I mean, the volcano itself wasn't like a massive
wasn't like a
volcano. The
mega
island
volcano.
was not huge.
No.
It was just
I guess.
devastating for the immediate area, which was far
Yes.
enough away from any of the
It-
mainland that
It destroyed
wasn't
the
really affected.
majority of the island.
And
Yeah.
even if it had like a global impact, it would probably be like, oh, it cooled it down by like half a degree or 1 degree, which
Yeah.
nobody's gonna notice in this timeline, not yet at least.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
there were other islands nearby, right?
There was.
Yes.
Anyone's laid a claim to those.
Yeah. I guess, you know, instead of sending them to the barren volcanic island that's still in the
Well,
process of regrowing 2 months down the line, but yeah, I get your idea.
Yes, like it was more the situation of like an unclaimed bit of land that nobody's gonna
Complain
go
about.
to and might be kind of considered scary and by people that aren't in the know. Well, and not that it wasn't a terrifying island, but
Yeah.
I suppose the Black Mountain Isles would be as. It's at least it was at least worth investigating, surely.
Although I feel like the problem is this is a whole this is a month-long arc that we do not have the time to do.
We cannot handle a refugee crisis right now.
Correction, we can, we just shouldn't probably do that right now.
Well, yeah,
Well,
we can, but
well,
if we do, that's less time.
We
you
need
know,
Elizabeth to be
stopping the guy who's going to murder everything.
Yeah, we need Elizabeth pumping her magic into that crystal.
I thought that was done already.
No,
No.
that's
No, we
not
did
the-
it. We did a
Oh,
test.
we stopped.
We did a
Sorry, we
test
stopped
run.
in the middle.
Yeah, we stopped in the middle.
Yeah.
We did
Wait,
a
no,
test
that
run,
was-
and then we stopped in the middle of me pumping it full of magic.
Oh yeah.
Because
Yes.
we came down here.
Yeah.
I mean, what about the islands farther south towards
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like the Black Mountain Isles
Oh,
in
but
general,
that's
not just
no. Sorry, I was thinking all the way down south, but I realized that's still part of the
Oh.
Dragonborn
It
area.
is, yes.
Yeah, never mind. I thought that was farther south, and I was like, oh no, wait, that's the port, and that's also Kuma Village. That's not where we want to send anybody.
No.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, okay, never mind.
Honestly, what about Shinder's Trail Landing?
I thought about that, but I feel like that's like honestly displacing them a little too far.
Also,
Yeah.
Cindershell might be in the midst of a political revolution just any day now, so...
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say they're also
Cindershell-
not super stable down there right now. I think.
Yeah, Cindershell
Yeah,
is
but-
volatile at best.
It's fine. That just means they want more mercenaries, and who doesn't want big Dragonborn? Just saying.
Wow, speaking from personal experience, Ogrim.
I don't think we should send them
no,
straight into the grips of a
no.
different war that they have no stake in.
I don't know. Is the Sierra still contemplating? her
Yeah,
sword?
she's still just looking at the sword and thinking.
Okay. If
How's
she
the,
seems like she wants to speak up, I'll like make a space for her to speak up, I guess.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
otherwise, I won't.
How's
like, push
the
her.
is our other dragon is the red dragonborn also having his contemplate still?
He is sort of like listening to the conversation, but he can only really like grab scraps of it. But he just genuinely seems confused about like what it is that you're trying to do.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, fucking
are
same,
also
buddy. It's
confused.
okay.
Yeah, we're all unsure.
I mean, I guess for now, it'd probably be best just send them over the mountain, right?
See, unless we provide them with food or some way of acquiring food, they're gonna have to just resort to what they did immediately again. Like the next best thing we can do is give them a bag of money and hope that they just act like a trade caravan through, human lands, buying up the food they need. That is the best. That is the best case easy scenario that I can imagine. But that is, yeah.
That's a decent idea.
But it's expensive, and we'd have to keep on funneling money into them unless they figure out how to do trading properly.
Unless some of them are merchants.
And even then, it doesn't quite solve some problems. Like they'd be a roaming people, and quite a large one at that. You Dragonborn. You might not want to say how many fighters you have, but how many innocent civilians, non-combatants, or just the total? Either number is fine.
If he looks confused, I'll
Give me a persuasion roll.
Okay. Persuasion.
Oh,
Oh,
my
shit.
god.
Okay.
There it is,
What
guys.
This is such a oh god, this is like it exemplifies Grim though in a nutshell.
Grim.png.
Fucking hell.
Look, it's fine.
I really want to know if Rob was expecting us to get conked by doubting wise.
So
Dave, I bet you weren't expecting a moral conflict.
I've been watching this long enough. You should expect at least one moral conflict in a situation.
I was gonna say this is Second Age. Have you
Okay,
seen
yeah, good
us?
point.
Like
Yeah.
what?
We might as well
We-
call this moral conflict age.
Look, we have moral conflicts for breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true
Well,
sometimes.
Look,
Honestly,
you're
Breakfast, I think
you're
I'll
not
have some toast. I'll have some juice, and why not a bit of moral conflict?
your 19th level. Just regular old combat just doesn't cut it anymore.
Nope.
Now
You need to hit us- you need to hit us right in the feels.
Yeah.
Of our actions.
You need to hit us right in the feels while whispering consequences.
Yeah,
Um,
like you say that as if that hasn't been happening the entire campaign.
Exactly.
The Red Dragon mode sort of like looks back at you, just says, "There, altogether there can be no more than 50 of us left. Maybe
Only
half.
50.
Maybe half of that is capable of fighting."
Well, we don't care about the amount of fighters, but
I care a little bit.
well,
To
a
be
little,
fair,
but
a little
like,
bit.
Yeah,
but like that's not what I'm gonna tell them.
No, I know.
true.
50 people. Would that be a reasonable? Like, it's if they don't like it's silver. Like for silver a day, you can probably feed everybody. Like a person, not everybody. Not 50 people for silver.
No,
I was gonna say
definitely.
no. That's
Brain
incorrect.
rice.
You're getting
So-
rice. What's for dinner, lads? Rice.
Rice.
Yes.
But we had that yesterday. Too bad.
But no, it's like a silver is
Okay,
actually
well,
no
what's
reason.
for
Like,
lunch? Rice.
like, with the silver per person, they can actually, eat more than rice. So that's a gold for 5 people.
Rice
No,
and
like,
naan. Ooh.
a gold would feed 10 people. So that's 5
5
gold a
gold.
day to feed them, assumedly. If they get good deals. But admittedly, they might need some more, Let's make it, let's say 10 gold a day.
What are we calculating for?
Like, I was
Minnie
like,
wants to pay them to be a
Like-
traveling
leave?
caravan.
no, just figure out how expensive it would be to afford them some food so they could actually just be innocent boys.
Innocent boys.
And
or,
girls.
s-
And other.
or like relatively, like lead somewhat harmless lives.
I mean, the thing is that they need to become sustainable if that's really the option that we're trying to push for them,
Yes.
which is a whole different issue.
No, but like step 1 is figuring out how much they need. Step 2 is figuring out is there a way of them achieving that need.
Yeah.
I mean, becoming a trade caravan could weirdly become a reasonable option.
But 50 people is a big trade caravan.
I mean, the other issue is that I don't know if most people will look kindly upon them. even
Yeah, they.
outside of the Dragonborn Kingdom.
Yeah, you're right. I think we've been.
especially in human lands.
I guess even we are a little. Even we aren't the best at that from time to time.
Though at the same time, a reputation only changes if you take actions to change it.
True, but it doesn't still make it hard. And the problem is they can only be turned down so many times before they run out of food.
True.
And if they then say no, then well, what choice do you have but to steal or otherwise acquire food?
Not to
if-
mention, being turned down is the softest refusal they could possibly get.
Yes.
Mm.
We're really just trying to eliminate racism in this world right now.
Look, it's the ideal. We're trying.
Look, we're trying real hard.
And here I thought an interracial couple between a dark elf and an elf would be the most politically troubling thing we got into in this campaign.
Nope. Now we're getting into refugee crises and acceptance of foreign
You
immigrants.
say that as if we didn't already touch upon that when we were in Caspor the last
Yes.
time.
It's true.
True.
Yeah,
But
but
we
like
did kind of encounter a big old refugee ship, and we were like, just
No,
go, just
yeah,
go.
like I feel like that was not us solving. That was just us being like, well, don't solve your. Just go elsewhere was your problem. That's basically what we did.
Yeah.
And also, to
Yeah,
be fair,
I mean that's
that
kind of what we're
solution-
doing now.
I mean,
Well,
also
the
that
difference
solution led
is-
to the situation we're in right now.
Yes. Okay.
Whereby
The difference.
all that gunpowder they ran off with, they've used to just steal shit. From
Yes,
people.
I
but
mean,
like,
also, I think that to be fair, I think that they had already been transporting gunpowder before that. I think that was just
Yeah.
another shipment, right?
Yes.
Start understanding?
So-
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
So we were kind of fucked anyway on that front.
yeah, but like the difference between then and now is then we just said, bugger off, and now we're being like, okay, we can get you, we can safely have you here. You can be here, or you can do this to safely live on. There's a big difference. Instead of just being like, just don't do this and then figure something else out for yourselves.
On
Not
on
really.
on that note, by the way, if what the Dragonborn says is accurate, and that some of the members who are now in this fortress are people who were on that boat, they did an impressive job of smuggling refugees basically down the coastline, along with a whole bunch of barrels of gunpowder, and then up the river to the river's source.
That is
Like
true.
they have clearly shown initiative and resourcefulness.
Yeah, I'm kind of impressed, honestly.
Mm.
Yeah, I was also like I was kind of confused how they managed to get up here, but yeah, I guess they got up the river, yeah. Potentially.
That is definitely the most likely option. They somehow managed to do it right under the Imperial Army's nose, which is very impressive.
I was thinking, a place like Mardan, they're kind of just a big bag of everything. But they have-
Mardan, very famously, as in a vision had by Kelariis, did not have a great relationship with the Chromatics.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe not send them there.
Forbidden City is empty anyway now.
No!
Forbidden City is full
It's-
of
What?
ancient.
The Forbidden
dangerous
It's
magic.
also full of monsters.
Yeah, it's full of
Also
monsters and
forbidden
ancient
for a
dangerous
reason.
magic.
Well, yeah, but it's empty now.
No!
No, it's
Well,
not empty. It's full of
okay.
dangerous monsters
Extremely
and
not
forbidden
empty.
ancient magic.
Okay, well, it's only okay. Like only monsters live there. It's fine.
Oh my
That's
god.
still dangerous.
Al-
We-
also,
They're
Like,
just gonna be
to
like,
us,
hey, we
but
got a place for you to go. It's fucking overrun by
Full of
monsters.
Yeah.
monsters.
also
It's
not
fine.
monsters and it's full of dangerous ancient magic that even we don't understand.
not to mention the fact that when the staff eventually recovers from the curse it was under, the Forbidden City will just vanish and be resealed again.
Yeah, and they're gonna be in there,
Yeah.
and then they'll be
Sealed in time
pissed.
forever.
They will be
Well, they
stuck in a
won't
time
ever
bubble.
die.
No, but they'll won't exactly live either.
Yeah.
Kelariis.
Not great. Is what I'm.
Look,
that's what I'm
I will just say that I agree that it might not be the best idea, but it was more just of a it was just a
I just
throwaway.
we have a fair enough. Do we have any more Dragonborn at our base?
No.
Yeah, me, Thasira, and Cal.
Oh
Yeah.
yes,
yeah.
Cal, of
Oh,
course,
yeah,
yes.
Cal.
We have
How
3
could you forget
Dragonborn.
Cal, our son?
Our
I was-
diplomats.
I was
Uh,
I was thinking about warriors in our. Right, so don't
No,
count
it's
Cal in
me
that
and
section.
Thasira. Yeah, no, it's me and Thasira in terms of fighters.
Are you suggesting we recruit them?
No, I was suggesting we house them for a while.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Take them all the way back to Ivywood Market.
That's gonna
That's-
be
yeah,
a
that's
fucking
gonna be-
pain in the ass.
Yeah. That's gonna be 2 weeks of travel, and then we have to feed them.
I mean, we were basically gonna feed them anyway, to be
Yeah.
fair.
True.
Well, what was your idea about the Dragonborn that we had?
Well, I was just wanting to make sure we wouldn't piss half of our force off by bringing in a bunch of chromatic Dragonborn into our base.
Well, I think we're still pissing off at least 2 of them, but
Probably.
and potentially more.
Mm.
because I do like, besides the fact that we like, I feel like a lot of governments wouldn't be happy. Like the elves might not be happy that we to be associated with someone who has chromats, or just people in general.
Yeah, that would be like admitting you have diplomatic influences with the Drow.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely don't have any of that. Nope.
Yeah, no, surely not,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, no.
Definitely
Everybody
not
turns to look at
boinking any
Arya.
powerful politicians.
Well, you know,
Yeah,
they're
hey,
Did
there's
you
no
say
diplomatic.
You did say boinking.
Oh
I
my
would like to point
god.
out. I would like to point out there is no diplomatic ties.
There is no diplomatic relations. I did
There's
not
no
have diplomatic relations with that elf.
I did not have.
What's happening?
I love the idea that that's the scandal rocking the government.
Yeah.
I didn't have diplomatic relations. I exclusively had sexual and romantic relations. There
Do you
was no
not-
diplomacy.
Wait, do you guys not get that joke?
Yes, I get it.
yeah, it's from
It's from
what
Bill
president?
Clinton.
Oh, it was Bill, yeah.
trial.
Oh.
Yeah. I did not have diplomatic relations with that woman.
And I didn't.
I
Actually, that's not quite true.
I was just thinking, just at the beginning of A New Hope, if this is a councillorship, then where is the ambassador?
Also, like, you know, but, like, most drow wouldn't even consider Zolder a drow anymore. So
Yeah, he
Yeah,
has.
it's basically-
Yeah, but whether the drow consider him a drow isn't important. It's whether or not the elves
Well,
consider him a drow.
Yeah, he is now houseless, so he is technically an outcast.
Oh, right.
yeah,
I don't think
Yeah,
that
fucking
elves
rip.
care. I think they're still gonna think he's a drow.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still gonna call me a blood traitor and all sorts of terrible
Yeah.
things, but that's fine. We won't talk about that.
Yep.
It's okay, Arya, I'll fight them for you.
We'll all fight them for you.
Yeah.
We will go to war for this love.
how else will we eliminate racism? Just kill everything. No.
That's not what I mean.
You know what? Let's help the Dread Legion. Destroy the world and start over. This
No!
one's too far gone.
No.
No. Oh, the ultimate 180.
The ultimate 180. This one's too far gone. We just blow everything up
I mean, they say you
Fine.
either die a hero or live long enough to.
to see yourself become the villain. That is true.
No.
But,
Anyway.
well, back to
Not-
solutions instead of problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of making more problems for everybody.
Oh, let's stop going down this rabbit hole.
Oh.
Okay, so we can't really bring them to Ironwood Market because that'll piss off everyone near us.
Yeah. I'm thinking, is there anywhere that like we've been that is basically uninhabited that nobody cares about and is also livable? Because, yeah, like we could tell them to go up north to like the Howling Bay or
Frozen
whatever,
wastes.
like the Frozen Waste, but like they'd basically not be able to live there anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, just send them up to World's End.
Oh god, no.
Don't think that's a good idea. Honestly, if we want to send them somewhere that's safe and relatively uninhabited, the Black Mountain Isles is weirdly our best bet.
Where is? Sorry?
The Black
it's
Mountain Isles.
Oh, the
It's,
Isle,
n-
sorry.
it's near
I
Lattimore.
didn't hear the what she said.
Yeah, the Black Mountain Isles is weirdly our
Yeah.
best choice, I think. Unless there's nothing south of Green Abbey, in which case, look at all that land.
No, there definitely is stuff south of Green Abbey. There is just no map markers.
Exactly.
I mean, I know I dismissed Cindershell Landing out of hand, but would that be a good idea? I don't know.
I think
Like-
that's a bad idea
yeah, I
considering
think
the
it's a bad
current,
idea.
current situation there.
Yeah,
well,
all,
see-
all we'd be doing is sending them into another war, except this one they don't
Well-
understand nor have investment in.
Yeah, but it's not quite like we're sending him to war there. Like there would be
True.
a war of some
Oh,
kind
yeah, we're still sending them
potentially.
into a war zone.
Well, not
Well,
yet.
it's not like an open war, and it most likely won't
Yeah,
ever
true.
come to being an open war.
It's still dangerous.
They will
But-
still spend their lives being treated like second-class citizens.
Mm.
Yeah.
But they will be citizens, which is better than refugees.
I mean, I guess that's one way of looking at it, but not
Yeah.
a great one.
It's.
not ideal.
It's also getting
No.
them there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other issue.
Just get him a pair of glasses and a fake mustache, and they just go offshore to
Exactly.
get
I really
supplies.
do wish we could just go to the Platinum Throne, grab the Emperor by the neck, just like slap some fucking sense into them.
Well, the problem is we would have to find both leaders.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Yeah.
Also, the biggest problem is the Emperor is actually dead, and there is a
Oh, yeah,
debate
true.
about who should actually succeed him, and that's kind of the problem that they're in at the moment.
Oh yeah, find each of the potential successors and just slap some fucking sense into them.
Just slap everyone.
Wait,
I got it. I
that's
got
the
it.
solution. Go full
oh.
Spartan. Have 2 royal families, 2 monarchs.
That
Well-
sounds like a what?
I was gonna suggest, and please don't take this seriously, but I was gonna suggest. I was like, we throw a coup and we supplant Kelariis as the leader.
I
You
knew
make
you were gonna say
Kelariis
that,
the
Luka, and I was like, no!
Make Kelariis the
Uh.
Empress.
Worst idea.
That is a terrible idea.
God, honestly, it would be a better idea to make fucking Visastrous the Empress instead of me.
It'd be a better idea to make
Uh.
Grim the Emperor.
No, actually.
Wow.
No offense, Grim.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was.
Don't even trust me as an emperor.
No.
But yeah, go full Spartan. Let them both be Emperor.
I don't know who would hate being the Empress more, Kelariis or Visastrous. Because
Honestly,
Visastrous was offered the opportunity to be the Empress, and she was like, nah, this is fun, but I gotta ditch.
yeah. I think she'd probably have more fun with it than I would, though.
Kelariis would
you'd
just
find
be,
ways.
Kelariis would just be eternally suffering because not only does she not like the authority and power, but also like suddenly she'd have buttloads of work that she can't just solve by hitting things.
Excuse you, I do not just hit things to solve my problems, thank you very much.
Yeah, but I don't think she's prepared to deal with the intricacies of government.
I mean, I think she'd be a fine ruler, but it would just not be her jam.
No, it'd take her decades to learn how to do it properly.
But
In that time, she'd probably spend a lot of it trying to find people who won't backstab her and/or putting down revolts, or both. Most likely both.
like the next best thing I can think of is do genies accept chromats?
Oh, we can't just
We
dump them
cannot-
there?
We can't just dump them in the elemental plane.
How can you imagine though? We're just like, alright, here is your new home, and then they can't fly.
Like just step through
Well, to
this
be fair,
portal
Genasi
and
can fly, but yeah. No, I don't think that's a safe place.
no.
Also,
but-
what the hell would the genie actually think if we just dumped like a buttload of dragonborn refugees in their city?
They probably wouldn't be super happy about it.
Exactly.
Nah.
I will point out at this stage, you have been having this conversation for so long that Tallithsyr has just absent-mindedly wandered off, and the Dragonborn, who is like the only conscious prisoner, is currently just lying back, and basically just has his eyes closed.
Honestly, fair enough.
You know what?
He's wondering how do they ever get things done.
We don't.
Yeah, honestly.
Oh,
Where has the Sarah gone?
No more than a maybe
oh,
like
she's still, like around.
yeah, she's no more than maybe like 30 feet away, but she's just
Oh,
wandered away from the conversation. Is just sort of sitting on a rock, like looking at the sword.
Maybe there is nothing we can do. Not right now, at least, anyway.
I mean, if we could,
okay. I think. Yeah, go ahead. Go first.
I was just gonna say, I think if we could secure the promise of them not attacking the village anymore, and like maybe offer our help in defending them from the Legion, would
I
that be
don't-
enough for now?
The problem is, if we offer that, then we will be at war with the Legion effectively, which has
Yeah.
a bunch of implications that I do not even want to consider right now.
It's true.
Besides the fact
There
that
is one thing that I might be like if you guys agree, I might be willing to do. If we get them across the mountain into human lands, because like new settlements are created all the time, and we need to somehow give them a way to communicate with us. then if the Dragonborn show up, the from the Platinum Throne, then we show up and say they are in human territory. They have not broken any human rules so far, hopefully. And until they do, you will leave them alone. And then it won't be us declaring war. It will be them. It will be them having to take aggressive action, which, admittedly, they might do. However, politically, it's a better move.
You'd
What
be
about these
taking them
mountains to
into
the
your
north?
jurisdiction.
Instead of they would be the aggressors instead of us.
Yeah.
Admittedly, we would have to somehow, get the okay of the Lord or whatever that is there in some way, shape, or form.
I mean, yeah. What about these mountains to the north?
What about them?
Like, is there stuff there? Could it be livable?
Yeah, there's plenty of empty space.
It's hilly and mountain. It's a hilly and mountainous region just occupied by villagers. There are no major settlements there, but there are plenty of villages.
They could in theory set up a village.
And then I guess we'll have to give them a one-time supply package, or maybe two. Well, because seeds and stuff aren't easy to come by, and food doesn't grow overnight.
What? Seeds?
No.
Nope. I think that's our best. If they accept it, that's our best opportunity for them to have any peace whatsoever.
Yeah, I think that's probably all we can do at this point.
Admittedly, I understand if they consider would decline it.
But
I mean,
think we
really,
should
our
start-
main goal is for them to stop attacking these villagers, right?
And yes, well, and if they, I guess we'll make that offer. We say if they decline, we say, well, you can't attack the villagers anymore, and if it happens, we'll be back, but less peaceful.
But it also will be too late for the villagers. Another attack would wipe them out completely.
Yeah.
Well, that is assuming they'd lie to us. I'm not saying that's impossible, but I'm
Maybe
saying
we need to take some prisoners and go back and talk with the villagers.
I don't like.
Maybe we can convince them to set up elsewhere. I mean, there is.
Yeah,
only
but
this-
there's more I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's more villages in the neighborhood.
Yes.
Or
This is not the only village. This is just the closest.
So you would have to convince all villagers.
Also,
and it would-
the reason they were taught to use weapons and how to defend themselves was because they refused to leave.
Yes, and I feel like moving now is kind of like them admitting defeat.
Yes.
And after you've just had most of your friends and family murdered,
Then what did they die for?
you're not going to be ignoring what did they die for. You're not going to be a big fan of any peaceful resolution that allows the other side to, have anybody alive, anybody remaining, pretty
I
much.
guess though, like these people have seen Kelariis in person up close. Like they know the stories or whatever. Would they really risk pissing her off? I don't know.
Some of them have, not necessarily the ones who are in
Yeah.
charge.
And we don't know. We don't
Okay.
really know the extent of how deep these stories about Kelariis go within the
Yes.
Well, but I'm
Magic
saying
society.
if we come back and we are dragging these people with us, and we say, "Hey, we just killed your entire force in 3 seconds. This guy can vouch for us. Don't fuck with this village." I mean,
Well, yeah. Well, I think we can bring, this Dragonborn, and there might be more injured ones we haven't found.
There
If you bring
are
them-
2 injured ones currently in
There's
the tent.
2.
Otherwise,
Okay. Well, if we bring them back, then that maybe we at least can get a word.
Yeah.
neither of them currently seems capable of moving around or conversing. But that's
No, but we have the one that can attest to
Yes.
the problems that, if they question our abilities or our intent.
Also, Also,
then-
returning their wounded would go some way to easing things.
Yes. Although I will admit that, like, we kind of have a similar problem as with the village, where we just murdered a whole bunch of friends and family.
Mm.
Admittedly, under different circumstances, because, like, in a way, they were the aggressors. We just took preemptive action.
I mean, they laid siege, we sallied forth.
Exactly. Not sure they'll see it that way, but I feel like it's going to be our only chance, and we might have to, it might come to, they might be mad. We might have to crack some skulls, as they say. Perhaps try to keep their skulls intact.
Yeah, let's avoid that if possible.
Well, what I'm trying to say is there's a high likelihood they'll just attack us regardless.
I mean, true.
And we're gonna be around for a little bit anyway, because I think we have to sort this dragon shit out.
We should probably have a look into the dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if it's like actually a dragon, it seems.
Yeah.
So we can, so we go up, we give them our options, and then we deal with the dragon. Then we come back for their final answer if they haven't given one by that time. And if they've said no, we come back anyway and say, "Are you sure?" Basically. But then
Okay,
maybe.
well, I guess should we bring these guys back to the village?
I don't know about taking them
I
back
don't
to the
think-
village.
I don't think they're gonna live through the night if we bring them to the village.
Yeah.
It is very quickly like the sun is very quickly dipping behind the hill line. It is getting towards evening at this point.
Well, we should probably inform our. I guess they're our prisoners for now. With the intent to return them for. Well, it's you know what I'm saying.
Basically, they're coming with us for the time being, but we're not going to keep them for long.
Well, some of you go down to the village. Some of us stay up here. Because even though I don't think they're going to make any moves up here, I feel like it might still be good to not leave them alone for a variety of reasons.
True.
I think Arya, you're kind of alert, even
I'm only kind of alert.
well, like whilst resting,
Yeah.
compared to us that are basically knocked out. For Sarah, Kelariis, I think you two are. For Sarah, Kelariis, you probably are the best. It's best if you two head back to the village.
Thunderous is not currently in earshot, but
Oh well, I'll trust Kelariis. Kelariis, you and Fasira, you should probably head back to the village, and I feel like you might have a better chance of either dealing with it sensibly, or getting through to them, or just being a person that communicates.
Being a person. Great.
No,
I
that
think-
can't.
I think that's Grimm's way of saying you speak Draconic.
Well,
Yeah,
and,
but the village speaks. The villagers speak common pretty.
No,
well, I
yeah,
think,
but
don't
you
they?
speak
Yeah.
Draconic, but you also feel the Draconic. You're.
Are you gonna say I feel the draconic vibes?
Are you trying to say she's,
God.
like the classic, like she's one of them?
Basically, she's closer related than me and Gnome. Like if a Gnome came up and told you like all kinds of things, then you'd be less likely to accept it than when your kin tells you.
And that's the problem we're trying to address.
It's the problem we're trying to address, but
That's
you
racism,
know,
ladies and gentlemen.
it's a thing, and we have to deal with it regardless.
I mean, no, you are right.
And you're
but-
gonna stay, you're gonna stay here then, because we need someone who can speak Draconic.
Yeah.
This guy
Well,
is not.
Also, I
Okay.
figured that the village is reasonably safe, but in this camp, it'd be a good place for, the dome.
That works.
Okay, well,
And then
Shall we-
what do I do? What do I
Okay.
do?
I guess you'll stay with us.
Yeah, I think I'll trust Kelariis and Visera, and then I'll stay with you. Not because that just avoids me having to make the long trek.
Fair.
Grim looks over at the village, which is literally within eyeshot.
Oh, a long
Also-
trek.
It's
Also-
downhill and uphill again. It's rough. It's
Also,
rough.
out of character, but imagine the carnage if you just left Elizabeth and Arya alone in that camp overnight,
Yeah, it might not be great.
inside
Yeah,
the area
that's
of
also
Liam's
true.
tiny hut,
That is also true.
which Elizabeth cannot leave.
It's, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't be that bad, but yeah.
A lot of very one-sided conversations.
It'd be a lot. I imagine, yeah, it would just be Arya sitting there,
Everywhere.
Elizabeth trying to be like, so.
Yeah. Well, I think that settles what we're gonna do. We might have a look in the camp if there's. We should probably bring any food back to the. Say, I'm guessing. Yeah. Just bring back any food to the fortress as well. Don't want to. But we'll do that whilst you guys are gone.
Forget
Um,
the steel.
Well, if we feed them of their food, I'm perfectly fine with it. I even don't mind eating it ourselves, dude. But we're not going to eat for 30 or 20 people or whatever it was.
So yeah, a cursory glance through the stocks that this place has is it has supplies of fresh water. It has maybe still like a week's worth in like dried rations, but it's very, very basic. Like it is seeds, unseasoned like roots, and that is basically it.
Right.
Lovely.
But it's enough to feed the army, but you get the feeling that like this is the end of their supplies.
I feel so bad.
They probably gave them 3 days because they had 3 days left of food, or what? 5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, okay. So, Kelariis, you leave to get the Sira, and the rest of you begin to sort of set up a safe space in the camp. And with that, we will take a short break.